Elena, where did all this come from? Mark asked in surprise. He had been sure she wouldn't manage without him. Mark and Elena met at a summer arts festival in a small town. He, a successful sales manager, had come for the weekend to unwind and enjoy the festive atmosphere. She, a budding artist, was exhibiting her work at the local fair. Their meeting was accidental but instantly sparkling. Trying to secure her painting to the stand, Elena accidentally dropped her brush, and Mark, passing by, picked it up. "I think this is yours," he said, smiling. Elena was flustered. Her big brown eyes met his discerning gaze. "Thank you," she replied, blushing slightly. "I'm just a little nervous. This is my first exhibition." Mark was captivated by her sincerity and natural beauty. He understood nothing about art, but something in this fragile girl drew him in. They began talking, and the day that started as an ordinary weekend for Mark turned into an unforgettable date. They walked through the fair, laughed, and shared their dreams. Soon their romance spun into a whirlwind. Mark, accustomed to the corporate world, found a breath of fresh air in Elena. Her love for art and creative view of life were new and exciting to him. He started spending more time with her, immersing himself in her world of colors and canvases. However, over time, cracks began to show in their relationship. Mark, with his pragmatic view of life, increasingly worried about Elena's financial situation. Her earnings from selling paintings were modest, which bothered him. He couldn't understand why she couldn't find a normal job with a steady income. "Elena, do you understand that we can't live on your paintings alone?" He would tell her in the evenings. "You need to find something more stable." Elena tried not to react to his words, continuing to believe in her dream. She hoped that Mark would eventually understand and support her, but instead his irritation grew. He was reluctant to give her money for personal expenses, believing she should earn her own. "Mark, I'm trying my best," she would say. "I sell paintings. I participate in exhibitions. This is my path, and I can't give it up." "Your path?" he would sarcastically repeat. "Your path is eternal debt and lack of stability. You need to think about the future, Elena." Mark began avoiding conversations about her art, focusing on his own career. He spent more time at work, and at home, he became colder and more withdrawn. Her efforts to earn money from her paintings seemed insufficient to him. Everything changed the day Mark began to cheat. He met Marina, a successful businesswoman, at a corporate party. Her confidence and success attracted him, and he felt he had found what was missing in his relationship with Elena. "You are so different from everyone I know," he told Marina during one of their meetings. "You understand what it means to be successful." "And your wife?" she asked, knowing about his marriage. "She just doesn't understand me," Mark replied. "Her art is all she thinks about. We are too different." Mark started spending more time with Marina, finding in her what he lacked with Elena. He felt guilty but justified his actions by saying his marriage was already doomed. He stopped hiding his infidelity, coming home late and barely talking to Elena. Elena, feeling she was losing him completely, tried to save their marriage. She even backed away from her painting, trying to please Mark, but this only irritated him further. Ultimately, Mark decided to divorce. He left her penniless, certain she wouldn't cope without him. Elena was broken but decided not to give up. She started from scratch, studying trading and investments, hoping to find a way to secure her future. Several years passed. Elena, thanks to her persistence and determination, succeeded in trading. Her life changed beyond recognition. She was no longer the naive artist she once was. She became a strong, self-assured woman managing an investment fund. And then one day, Mark was scheduled to meet a future partner at an expensive restaurant to discuss business. He felt confident and enjoyed the attention and respect of those around him. As he sat down, his gaze fell on a woman in the opposite corner of the room. Her expensive dress and confident demeanor immediately drew his attention. Mark froze. It was Elena. Her radiant appearance and costly attire were nothing like the woman he had once left with nothing. Mark felt a wave of anger rise in his chest. How could she have changed so much? He couldn't believe his eyes, and forgetting everything else, he headed towards her table. "Elena," he uttered, barely masking his indignation. She looked up and met his gaze with a slight smile. "Mark, hello. What an unexpected sight." "Unexpected?" he repeated, feeling his anger mount. "What does all this mean? How did you end up in a place like this? In a dress like that, Elena? I know you didn't have any money after our divorce. Where did all this come from?" Elena smiled faintly and placed her glass on the table. "Do you think I found a wealthy sponsor?" she asked, savoring his confusion. "No, Mark. I simply started earning money myself." "How is that possible?" he exclaimed, not believing his ears. "It's simple," she replied. "I got into trading. It was difficult at first. I studied a lot and learned from my mistakes. But over time, I started to succeed. Now I manage an investment fund and help others earn money." Mark didn't know what to say. He stood before her, stunned by her words and her success. Inside, envy and resentment boiled. He couldn't understand how she had changed so much and surpassed him. "You're saying you achieved all this yourself?" he asked, trying to find a catch. "Exactly," Elena replied. "And you know what, Mark? I'm grateful to you. Your humiliation and criticism gave me the strength to prove I could achieve success. So thank you." Mark felt the ground disappear from under him. He wanted to say something sharp, but the words caught in his throat. Elena stood up, adjusted her dress, and smiled at him goodbye. "I wish you luck, Mark," she said, and walked towards the exit. Mark stood in the restaurant, stunned and crushed. Elena's confident, successful appearance wounded his pride. He saw before him not the girl he had once humiliated and deemed hopeless, but a strong, independent woman, and most importantly, richer than him. Suddenly realizing he might be able to win her back, he rushed after her, nearly knocking over a table. "Elena, wait," he cried, catching up to her near the exit. She turned, her face calm, but a flicker of curiosity in her eyes. "Mark, what do you need?" she asked, slightly frowning. He stopped in front of her, trying to compose himself. "Elena, listen. I was wrong all this time. I didn't realize how strong and talented you are. I was a fool not to support you back then. Let's start over. I've changed." She raised her eyebrows in surprise, but there was no pity in her eyes. "You've changed?" she repeated, scoffing gently. "You seem to be the same person who considered me hopeless and worthless." He sighed, trying to hide his panic. "I realized my mistakes, Elena. I want to fix everything. Let's try again. Now you're successful, and we could be a great couple." Elena shook her head, her smile turning slightly melancholic. "Do you really think this is all about money? You humiliated me because I earned little, and now you want to come back because I earn more than you? Mark, this is not love, not even respect. It's just your envy and desire to profit from my success." Mark tried to object, but she raised her hand, stopping him. "I learned to be strong and independent, Mark. I don't need someone who will only be with me because of money. I deserve a person who respects me for who I am, not for my achievements." She looked him straight in the eye, and he felt his inner world crumble. "Elena, please, give me a chance. I can change." "You already missed your chance," she said quietly. "I'm sorry things turned out this way, but that was your choice. I'm moving on, and I advise you to do the same." With those words, she turned and confidently walked towards the exit. Mark stood, watching her leave, realizing he had lost her forever. Her figure dissolved into the evening streetlights, leaving him alone with his thoughts and regrets. He knew he couldn't change anything and that he had lost not only the woman he loved, but also the chance to be next to a true winner.